So first thing I'm going to do, as usual, is I'm going to go ahead and prep my skin. This product that I'm using is the Too Faced Hangover Primer. I really like this stuff. It smells really good. It just feels like lotion. I don't like any type of primer that is like silicone. The next thing I'm going to go in is with this Marc Jacobs Illuminator. I'm just going to put this on the tops of my cheekbones and everywhere that I want the highlight. I'm trying to keep it away from the rest of my face because when pictures are showing, I don't want myself to look too highlighted out there. So I'm just going to put it on my nose, my forehead, everywhere that the light is supposed to hit. We've gone over this a bunch of times. Next, I'm going to go in with my foundation. I'm using the Bare Minerals new foundation. I'm not sure what this is called, but I'm going to link everything down below. But this color matches me perfectly. I'm finally amazed that I could find a shade that actually matches me. And this foundation is about medium to full coverage. I'm just going to add a little bit extra just because I will be going out at nighttime and I will be taking pictures and dancing and I don't want to have to retouch up my makeup, so I'm just going to put one extra layer. I really don't need it, but since I'm going out, I'm going to go ahead and add that. I'm just going to blend it into my skin and make sure everything's blended correctly. I'm going to make sure it's blended into my neck so everything matches. So once I go in with my foundation, I'm going to go in with a concealer. This one's about 2 shades lighter. This is the NYX concealer, which it looks like I'm running so low on it, so I'm trying to get it out of there. But I'm just going to use what I have. I'm going to put it under my eyes. I'm trying to lighten up that area so that no blue or purple show. And then I'm just going to do it to the other side, my forehead, the bridge of my nose, and on my chin. And I'm going to try to make everything just kind of blend well together. I'm just going to take another foundation brush. This one's a little bit different. I'm just going to go ahead and buff it into my skin. I'm just going to make sure that everything matches and, everything's all in place. Because I felt like I still had a little bit of blemishes, I'm going to go in with my new Lorac Concealer foundation stick, and I'm just going to kind of go ahead and put it on those areas where I feel like I still needed a little bit more coverage, like under my eyes, on a few blemishes that I had. It was wedding time and I just completely broke out and I still have some scarring, so I'm going to just kind of put it underneath my cheeks where I had those pimples, and then I'm going to go ahead and just blend it in with that same brush and just make sure that everything is concealed. So next I'm going to go in with my ColourPop Alexis Sky Collection bronzing set. I'm just going to use the bronzer. I'm just going to go ahead and bronze my cheeks. I want to do a natural bronze first before I go ahead and add any red. Because I am doing a devil look, I wanted to add a little bit of red because I didn't want to paint my entire face red. So I'm just going to kind of make it natural first, pretty, and then go ahead and work other colors into it afterwards. So in the process of bronzing my face, I completely forgot to contour my nose, so I'm going in with the LA Girl Cosmetics in the shade Fawn, and I'm just going to go ahead and contour my nose and take a little tiny blending brush and just kind of blend it through to make sure it matches. So now I'm going to go in with my Morphe blush palette, and I'm going to take the brightest red at the bottom, and I'm going to take a more dense brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and contour my cheeks. I'm going to do a more defined contour than I would normally do just because it's a Halloween look, and then I'm just going to kind of blend it upwards and then work it on my forehead just as I normally would, but I want that red to definitely show so people get the idea that it's a devil look, but it's still classic and pretty. So once I'm done blending that contour, I'm going to go into that same palette and take the middle shade, which is more of a bronze copper tone color, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that on as my blush. I still want to add blush even though it's very pink and red in that area. I still want to keep it girly, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply that to my cheekbones. It has some shimmer, so it's really pretty and it adds a little touch to it. And for my favorite part, I'm going to go back into that Alexis Sky Color Pop palette, and I'm going to take that gold shimmer highlighter and I'm going to place it on the tops of my cheekbones as well as my forehead, my nose, and my Cupid's bow. This is where the sun-kissed look comes in. And now that the face is all done, I'm going to go ahead and start working on my eyes. I'm just going to take off that gunk off my eyebrows and go in with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot and a little concealer brush, and I'm just going to place it on my lids, and then I'm going to carve out my eyebrow shape. I'm not doing it in any particular way. I'm just kind of patting it on there so that the powder that I put on top of it sits and stays all night. I'm not exactly sure why I chose this color. I think I just wanted to use this palette, but I chose a cocoa brown shade from this Tarte palette, and I'm just going to place it on top of that paint pot that I just put on my eyelids. I'm just kind of setting it so that it doesn't move throughout the night. But after that, I'm going to go into this MAC palette that I have, and I'm just going to use the color Soft Brown and a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and use that in windshield wiper motions in the crease of my eye. That's just going to be our transition shade so that when we move on to other colors and darker colors, they're easier to blend. Because I wanted a more precise line, because I'm going for like angular devil looks, I'm going to go ahead and take some little tape and I'm just going to place it on my hand to make it less sticky so it doesn't take off all my foundation when I take it off. And I'm just going to go ahead and place it at an angle on my eye. I'm going to go back in with that soft brown shade and I'm just going to define it even more. You can see as I'm placing it on there, it's turning more into an angular shape rather than just a buffed out line over my crease. So back in that palette, I'm going to go into this red brick shade with another blending brush, and I'm just going to put it more on the outer corner of my eyes, but I am still going to bring it in towards the middle, and then I'm going to move it towards the inner corner of my eye, but I'm just going to keep buffing it out. I'm going to add more color later, but I don't want to add too much color because then taking away is a lot harder than just adding on. So again, in that same MAC palette, I'm going to take that darker gray shade and I'm just going to kind of define the outer corners closer to my lash line, and I'm just going to kind of bring it up in a V. I'm trying to stay with the orange and brown and blacks and grays and red tones to, you know, give you that imagination that it's fire in your eyes and everything like that. So I'm just going to kind of keep it at an angle but not bring it in too much because I don't want them to be dark and smoky. I want them to be more red and smoky. Next, I'm going to go in with my Marc Jacobs Rainbow Palette, and I'm going to take the orange shade, and I'm just going to go ahead and take a more dense brush, and I'm just going to put it on the crease like I did before. Really, I'm just trying to define this crease as much as possible. It's really hard because I don't have a defined crease, so anything to help define it makes me very, very happy. Now I'm going to do the same thing in that palette, but I'm going to use the red shade, and I'm just going to go ahead and define that crease. I'm still going to keep it at an angle. I'm trying to make it more pointy at the edges, as you can see here, and then I blend it on the inside into the inner corner, and then I work it out again to the outer corner. Now moving on to the lid, I just grabbed my MAC pigment in the shade Copper and I just patted it on my eyelid with my finger. I was going to use a brush, but it didn't work as good as I thought it was going to work, so I just kind of patted it on there with my finger. The thing about these pigments that I really like is that you can add more color to it and it just really intensifies the color, but by the second time I added color, it was the perfect copper that I wanted. When I added that copper pigment, it took away from the crease, so I'm just going back in that blush palette with a dense brush, and I'm just really going to define that crease one more time. And then once I got the crease that I want and the red that I want, going from the inner corner to the outer corner, I'm going to go ahead and start working on my bottom lash line. So basically what I'm doing for the bottom lash line is I'm just going in with the same colors that I used for the top of my lid. I'm going in with the soft brown shade first. I'm going to blend it through. Then I'm going to go in with that red brick shade and I'm going to blend it through. And I'm going to make sure that the wing on the top and the bottom lash line match up together. And then I'm just going to go into that same blush palette and take that red that I used and I'm going to go over the bottom lash line one more time just to make sure that again that they match and that it's more defined. So once I'm finished with the bottom lash line, for the finishing touch for the eye, I'm going to go ahead and spray this little brush and I'm going to go into my Makeup Forever Gold pigment and I'm just going to place it at the inner corner of my eye. I just wanted to make it a little bit more feminine, so I just kind of put it in the tear duct. It does kind of irritate my eye a little bit, but not too much, so I just kind of try to stay away from the tear duct because it's not fun when it's itching. Then I'm going to take that same MAC palette and just use that highlighter shade and I'm just going to put it on my brow bone, and then I'm going to do my eyebrows off camera, and then I'm also going to put my eyelashes on off camera as well. And I thought that my under eyes were missing a little bit more, so I just took some dark eyeliner and just underlined my waterline with that, and then I started working on my lips. I just realized that my camera was off when I put my lip liner on, so that's why I have dark lips now. But I also took my Cruella NARS pencil and I just started filling in the inside. I wanted to keep an ombre effect, that's why I kept the darker color on the outside and then the lighter color on the inside. And to finish off this look, I just added some devil horns, and then I took this little face decal and I just took the red bedazzles and I just put them at the edge of my eyeliner. I started with the inner corner and outer corner, but I thought two bedazzles on the edge of my eyeliner looked much better, so I went for that look instead.